Hello, my fellow empaths. Welcome back to the Elevated Empath YouTube channel. I'm Lisa. I'm the Elevated Empath on TikTok and Instagram. I'm so glad that you're here. So this is not a get ready with me, obviously, because I'm already ready. I wanted to talk about some insights that I've had lately, and I want to do more of these on YouTube, just where I'm talking at you. Manifestation, spirituality, empathy, sexual energy work in general. So if you're interested in all of that and interested in what we're talking about today, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more. So let's get into it. Some insights I've had lately. If you haven't listened to the episode of the Elevated Podcast, my podcast, where Lee Noto was the guest. Lee Noto is an intimacy coach, and my favorite quote in that podcast, and it was the one I clipped at the beginning, it's the one I clipped on Instagram. She said, our sexuality is, yes, of course, the things that turn us on and light us up and bring us into our inner vixen and our outward expression, but our sexuality is also quiet and it's subtle, and it's the subtleties that happen in between the orgasm and the sexy moments. And I thought about that quote so much, and it stuck with me for so long since that podcast episode launched. And I was thinking about how sex and manifestation are so similar. They're similar processes. So if you haven't listened to that episode of the Elevated Podcast where I talk about how manifestation and sex are the same, where we have to essentially surrender and release to the present moment so that we can enjoy it, and that's when the manifestation comes through, and that's when the orgasm comes through. And so I was thinking about Lee's quote in terms of manifestation. Manifestation is, yes, of course, when we get that big manifestation, when everything comes to fruition that we've been manifesting, when everything on our checklist has been ticked off and we get that big manifestation, we feel so grateful and humbled and love and enjoy. But manifestation is also quiet, and it's subtle, and it's the darkest before the dawn. It's the day-to-day growth that you do that you're not even realizing is making a huge impact on that manifestation coming through. It's the quietness in between the manifestations where you feel like the funds are all going to run out, or you're never going to meet that perfect person, or this house is never going to come through. You're never going to find the right thing with the right bathroom. Manifestation is the quiet before all of the things come to fruition. It's the darkest before the dawn. It's the eye of the storm. And I thought about that and how manifestation is about those smaller moments. Because I've been experiencing this recently. When my manifestations go dark, I think it's some invalidation of what I'm doing. I feel like, am I not doing the right things? Was I not supposed to be doing this? Am I not supposed to be having my own business? And some doubt starts to creep in, and I have to remind myself that it's part of the process. We can't have all of the abundance all the time in all moments. We don't, and this is my favorite line from Abraham Hicks, we don't want to eat all of the food that we want to eat for the rest of our lives today. You think you do, but you don't. Because our taste and our palate changes over time. Like, think about the things that you ate 10 years ago. It's much different than what you eat now. And your tastes develop over time, and you learn new things, and there are reasons why that manifestation hasn't come in yet, and you have to rely on that trust and that divine timing because it's there for a reason. And so if you get an Akashic record reading with me, and there's a question like, when is this going to happen? Or when can I expect, love to come into my life? Or what can I do to bring love in quicker? And the answer is often very frustrating from a spirit team in the Akashic Records reading, because they often say, it's once you decide to release this block or understand this limiting belief that you have, it's not about time. It's never about time. Time is something that us humans have made up. It has nothing to do with time that we see on a clock. You could get that manifestation in 20 seconds. You could take one direction path. You could turn directions once and in 5 seconds meet the person that you're supposed to be with. You could get an email in 10 seconds with an amazing career opportunity. So how liberating is that to see time in such a different way? It feels like our manifestations are so far out, they're years in advance, because that's what we think. And if we believe that that's what's going to happen, we're just going to keep putting it off. And we create this resistance around it. And resistance is often because we don't feel worthy of what we're calling in. So what do I mean by that? What does every manifestation coach mean by that? It's essentially, if we got this manifestation, would we feel worthy of it? And I'll paint this picture for you. Tomorrow you get $1 million. And if you already have $1 million, congratulations. $10 million. Tomorrow you get $10 million, but you haven't done any of the work. You haven't built a healthy relationship with money. You haven't found respect for money and value for money, love for money. You think that rich people are greedy, sinful. You think rich people are evil. What's going to happen to that money? It's probably going to fly away somehow. It's probably going to be spent as quickly as you make it, because there's no foundation of the love and respect and value for money. And so that happens with partners too. If we haven't done the inner work and we get that ideal, perfect partner, we can self-sabotage a lot of the time because we don't feel worthy of it. We don't feel worthy of the love that they're willing to bring us. And so we're not ready for it. So would you rather manifest the perfect thing, not be ready for it, and maybe self-sabotage it? Or would you rather wait and do the work and build that strong foundation within yourself, so when those things do come, they're everlasting? That abundance is everlasting. We manifest all of the things for the feeling of it. We want the manifestations because we want the feeling of having them. We want the feeling of abundance and joy and love and gratitude and the feeling that we're on our path. But once you cultivate those things first, it's law. That's when the abundance starts to come through. It's the law of attraction. When we can cultivate the joy and love and abundance and the understanding that we're always on our path, that's when the manifestations roll through. There is nothing that you are going to do that's going to take you off your path. Nothing. You're always on the right path. You're always making the right decisions. You're always taking the right steps, even when it doesn't feel like it. Even when you feel like you're very off your path, you're always on your path. And so trusting that is when the abundance starts to roll through. That's it. When we can cultivate the feeling first, when we can believe it before we see it. And I know how challenging that can be because we're human and we often want to see something before we believe it. But if we can believe it, feel it, and bring it into our space, that abundance and joy and love and gratitude into our feeling every single day, as much as we can, that's when the abundance comes through. And the abundance is everywhere in your life. So maybe you have a strong relationship with money and you can manifest money so easily, but all the other stuff feels like relationships and romantic relationships and securing a home or manifesting a dog or whatever it is, manifesting material items feels out of reach. There's something sticky there. It's probably because there's some disconnect with your relationship with self still. And it all comes back to your relationship with self. So instead of, this is a manifestation tip I like to incorporate with my clients, because we always want to manifest something else, something external from us to bring us the feeling of love and joy and gratitude and acceptance. When we want to start from within, right? We always want to start from within, because that's what builds the foundation and keeps everything always flowing and abundant. So how do we do that? Instead of writing your list of everything I want in an ideal partner or everything I want my relationship with money to look like, I want you to write out what you want your relationship with yourself to be like. And you can use the idea of a partner to help you think about it. How would you want your partner to treat you? But I want that to be your relationship with yourself that you're writing out. Do you hold yourself safe? Do you hold yourself accountable? Do you challenge yourself healthfully in the right times? Do you love yourself, see yourself, listen to yourself? And these are all the things that are going to build that trust and safety within the body and in the mind for yourself. And that's when we build that abundance, and manifestations just roll on through. So manifestation is, yes, of course, the things that turn us on and light us up, and all of those big, tangible, physical manifestations that we see in our lives. It's when we get the $1 million and the perfect dog and the perfect partner and the perfect home and the perfect family relationships and all of the clothes that we ever wanted, the jewelry that we ever wanted. But manifestation is also quiet, and it's subtle, and it's the things that happen in between. It's the doubt that starts to creep in that is met with your ability to trust in the divine timing, trust in your relationship with the universe, God, spirit, whoever you want to call it. It's about those moments of maybe a little bit of doubt that you're not on the right path, and then replacing that thought with, I am on the right path. I'm always on the right path. There's nothing I need to do to prove my worth, and there's nothing that will take me off my path. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I hope you feel so elevated.